episode of Heroes of the Mist. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you guys notice, one of our players is missing, so we turned him into a turkey. Sorry, Kevin, you'll be back next week. Hopefully you'll get to watch this episode and see your beautiful, beautiful waddle. Is that what that thing is? What is this? What's the neck thingy?
That's a waddle.
Oh. Is it waddle?
So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is episode 7, The Devil and the Pale Moonlight. I am so excited to be bringing you guys this weekly dose of spooky shenanigans in the mist-filled valley of Barovia. Special thank you to our sponsors, Roll20 and Metallic Dice Games. Thank you so much for providing us a virtual tabletop that we can use to connect our players from around the country and around the world. And special thank you to Metallic Dice Games for giving us so many wonderful sets of dice to give away. And we still have a discount code that players are free to use over at their website. It gives you 20% off every product they have, and they have some phenomenal dice sets over there. As far as announcement goes, I just got back from Yukon, and that was a wonderful experience. I got to play some Fallout. I got to run some good games. It was a nice break and a nice time to get away and just play games in my tribe. So does anyone else have anything they want to talk about before we jump in and get started?
Yeah. So I closed my show this week. But don't let it stop you, because starting on December, wait for it, 6th, at Pickerington Community Theater, I will be starring in the lead role of Fred Gailey in Miracle on 34th Street. So if you want your Christmas fun, come on out and see us.
It's basically Damon Stewart over here.
That's right.
Very nice.
Also, I'm got a little bit of a cold this week, so if I sneeze or cough, I do apologize in advance.
I won't forgive you, but it's fine.
I forgive you. I fell in the shower.
See who gets my shield
ago.
protection this week.
I'm sorry. I'm sending you a box of tissues now.
Thanks. Whoa.
Andy, Jonesy, do you Rowan, do you guys have anything you want to talk about?
I've got a little bit of gaming work to do ahead of me. I'm beginning to prep my 2 new games for Origins for next year. I will be running a Mega Man X game, and a Gundam game. So might be reaching out to the Geek Unleashed Nation for some playtesters.
Yeah, there are gonna be some really good games too. I've been providing what little input I have.
Andy, are you in the Columbus area?
I am up in here in Dublin.
Oh, cool. I'm in the players area. I didn't know how close you were.
Yep.
I'll be in Columbus in a couple weeks.
Oh, cool.
You hear that, Robin Jonesy? You guys got to come out and we'll do a live show.
Heck yeah. Now let's go to California. It's warm there.
Not today. It's a little nippy and rainy.
Oh.
Now I'll be up at OrcaCon in Seattle in January, running games with a bunch of the Green Lantern folk and other folk from the nearby area. So
awesome. I did get to hang out with Steve Kenson a little bit this weekend, which is always a fun thing to do. I played in his Icons game, and we got to catch up a little bit and talk about Blue Rose, which is always fun. I played the astonishing Dr. Mesmero, who was a failed actor who got a psychiatry degree with the hopes that he'd be a better actor, and it never worked out.
Wow, I feel personally attacked.
So I think without further ado, now that we've made some announcements and basically made sure the internet looks like it's going to do its thing, I'm just going to knock on all the wood that's in this room.
Which looks to be a lot.
Yeah, it's a whole
Won't
lot.
say anything again.
Let's go ahead and roll the opening cinematic, and we will get underway. everybody's messed up.
We all are.
We were just commiserating over the cinematic that everybody is seemingly on their deathbed. So if anybody wants to recap for a point of inspiration to regale the audience with why that is.
Sure, I'll go ahead and do that this week. So when last we saw our intrepid adventurers, they were having a little bit of a rewind so that Lily and Beetlejaw could have a quiet moment down by the riverside. When the fight with the backwards men was finished, we talked to Madame Ava one more time, trying to suss out her connections to all of this and getting more riddles in return. In the morning, we headed off for dropping Irina off at the church, where Lily and Irina came to a little bit of dagger staring between the two of them. We continued on our way until we found a windmill. At said windmill, we encountered a couple of women who were the daughters of the pie lady we met in episode 3, I believe. And thanks to our Caliban's prodigious hearing, we were able to denote that they had a small child somewhere upstairs, upon which we found out that we had stumbled across a coven of hags. This did not bode well for our adventurers, and led to our summoner showing up and making them cower. And that is where we left everything, with the heroes meeting the vampire lord Strahd for the very first time.
Vampire Lord Strahd, indeed. For the help of the adventurers at home, this handsome-looking gentleman emerged from the black carriage being drawn by 2 massive black horses. Came up and made an example of Granny fairly quickly.
Not quite to death, but awful lot of damage.
Oodles and oodles. And so, yes, Granny and her 2 daughters are going to sort of cower inside the windmill, pulling sort of together into a group. And Strahd looks at all of you standing inside the windmill and kind of smiles and gives a very, you would think it's a mocking bow, but just a very, he's introducing himself, it seems.
Mm.
He says, I had hoped we would meet under better circumstances than this, but it is nice to finally make your acquaintance. As I'm sure you have heard by now, I am the ruler of these lands.
I want to come downstairs so I can see out the door.
May I come in?
Nope.
Are you asking us?
Do we get a sense of his power outside of the demonstration he's done? Like,
he's not like radiating energy, but he is very regal. He's very sure of himself. He doesn't seem alarmed by any of what he is witnessing. He just seems very calm, very sophisticated, full of himself, confident.
so it's over 9,000. Got it.
He says, I promise you I am not here to fight. I am simply here to introduce myself and get an impression of the people I have trusted my beloved's care to.
Since you seem to know I look back at the 3 hags, whatever these are of the house, then you would surely know that this is not our home, and I don't think we can be the ones to let you in or out.
Well, it has come to my attention that you are the holders of the deed to this house.
Does that mean you put us in the death house?
I put all of the adventurers I bring to Barovia through the Death House first, as a test of their worthiness. What might your name be?
Lily.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Lily.
Hmm.
And what is your opinion of my kingdom that you have seen thus far?
To be frank, I'm still not really sure what I think because I don't really know where I am, but I have learned that my sister's here and I would like to know about that.
No, I did not summon your sister here. I don't know anything about that.
Aren't you the ruler of this land? Isn't the only way in or out through you?
That is true. The only way to leave Barovia requires either my permission or my life. The latter will never be given, and the former will never be taken.
Why are you telling us all of this?
I've come here to get an assessment of you. I noticed where you were heading, and figured that you, being foolhardy adventurer types, would come into contact with these lovely ladies and be unable to turn away from the, quite frankly, terrible things they do here. I had hoped I would arrive at the time of your victory and be here to get an assessment of you, but you did not seem to be able to triumph over the hags. I wonder if I have brought you here in error.
Well,
I suppose that is for you to find out.
That is why I have come here, to speak with you and to know you. I would like to talk inside out of this dreadful rain.
Are you afraid of rain? Is it going to melt you? Because I think I'd rather talk out there than you come in here.
He smiles, and you sort of see these sharp fangs. And he says, "No, my dear, I'm afraid it's going to take a little more than precipitation to destroy me."
My eyes gleam at the fangs out of interest.
So you say you're
roll a wisdom check for me, Lily.
What? I'm just doing the thing. Okay.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. Wait, do I just hit the wisdom thing on there? Oh yeah, okay, I see.
You feel like it might be a good idea to invite him in. He seems trustworthy to you.
I share this with the group.
I'll step forward, like kind of in front of her and speak to him.
Like you're swapping places with Lily.
Yeah.
Get the fuck. Excuse me.
Lily, you kind of regard him as a trusted friend and ally.
Strahd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you threw a saving throw. There might be a spell involved here.
Oh. Wait, no. I like his teeth. Let me in. Let me talk to him.
All you have to do is say the word.
Strahd, say that you just want to speak with us. If we were to accept that term, will you accept ours to have this conversation?
What are your terms?
That no harm will become to any member of us, including Irina, tonight.
Oh, I have no intention of harming any of you.
And Irina stays here with us.
I had intended for her to travel with you. You seem the trustworthy sort.
I look at all the others, looking for a nod of approval to go forward with this conversation.
It's like,
I trust him. He's good.
I'm shaking my head no, but in the way that there's, with the shrug of the shoulders, like there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do other than keep him out, and that's just going to piss him off.
Yep, I nod back to you that we're on the same page. like, I don't think it matters how we answer this. I think he's coming inside. Let's let's do it with keeping our heads if we can.
If we can.
Wait, Bard, can you sing him into being honest? Because I trust him.
Lily,
Yes.
silence.
It's okay.
And then Beetlejaw just kind of gives like a come here, like come inside.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Yeah.
And he kind of walks in. He takes the cape off of his shoulders and he kind of hangs it on the coat rack. And he rolls up his sleeves as he's sort of taking in the bottom level of the mill where you guys are.
And potentially the state of the one sister. We actually did manage a decent clubbing.
You sure did. He does look at the hags and he says, Morgantha, I thought you had more sense. I told you that these ones belong to me. You thought it okay to try and kill my playthings. That is something I cannot allow. And Morgantha says, no, Your Eminence, it wasn't like that. I wasn't even here when the fighting started. I can't tell you who threw the first attack. I'm sure it was them. You know how adventurers are. And he says, be that as it may, you knew they had my immunity passing this way, at least until they reached Valakai. For that, I will be taking the life of one of your daughters. Which, he kind of gestures to both of them. And the two daughters immediately begin pushing each other, trying to get one of them to go out into the front. Morgana's like, Strahd, please, it doesn't. We don't take them. They don't deserve it.
Can we intervene in this?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Strahd, I don't think that there needs to be any violence here tonight for anyone involved.
That is curious. What did you say your name was?
Edric.
Edric. Well, Edric, the sovereign laws of my land have been flagrantly ignored. What would you do in this instance?
I think that a just and righteous leader such as yourself would offer a pardon if there was a misunderstanding.
Would you argue that there was a misunderstanding?
Beetlejaw glances at the leader of the hags. I can't remember her name. Can I do an
Granny.
intimidation check to try to get her to agree?
Yeah, and you get advantage with Strahd's presence there. Granny kind of gives you sort of a almost a skeptical look, and then she nods and agrees and says, yes, clearly there was some kind of misunderstanding, right, daughters? And she kind of throws an elbow into Afalia. And Strahd smiles again. He says, well, this is an interesting turn of events. Fine, I will not execute any of you, but you are forthright banished from this windmill. You may not leave Barovia, but you may not stay here. I care not where you go. Maybe out to the swamp, maybe into the woods, but you may not reside here any longer.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Leave my sight before I change my mind. And the three sisters evaporate. Not before giving the three of you very dirty looks. Oh. And Strahd will go over and he will sit down on the plush chair that Bella cleared off for Lily. And he will turn and sit and regard all of you.
Can I talk now?
Despite what your traveling companions believe, I always want to hear the voice of a beautiful woman.
Interesting. But I've remembered something, that you've put a tracking potion in me. I would like to know if you could please take this out. I don't like being followed like that.
You tasted my blood of your own free will, my love. It was not anything that I did.
Okay, but how long does it stay in my system? You see, I like to know things, and I'm uncomfortable not knowing the answer to this question.
Well, I don't fully know the answer to that question. For some people, it works its way through in a couple of days. For a couple of people, it lasts for a week or two.
I grab a pen and paper. Okay, but what do you know about your blood then? What exactly is this going to do to me? Because I need to know now.
It will just allow me to follow you wherever you are in the valley, keep tabs on you, and if you are in danger, it will attract my attention.
So you're saying that me drinking your blood led you here to save us?
I was coming here either way, but when I detected that you were in danger, I pushed the carriages a little faster. I wanted to come and congratulate the triumphant heroes, but I suppose, again, you may not have been up to the task of facing off these hags.
Writes in parentheses, a little bit too sarcastic. Check.
Tell me, Lily, what is your profession?
I'm a librarian.
A librarian.
Hmm?
And how is it that you have found your way into the dark powers, so to speak?
I don't know if I'd call them dark. I would say that I asked for help and it was given to me because I studied.
That is a curious interpretation of events.
These
Some
are
would think
rewards.
that you sold your soul to a dark power to gain magic. That is a story with which I can relate.
I simply was looking for a quick means to an end to, shall I say, right some wrongs that happened in my life and figure out more answers.
I believe that we may be kindred spirits, you and I. That is the origin of my powers. Seeking a means of vengeance for wrongdoing. It's at this point you guys notice that Irina is just shock white and paralyzed with fear over in the corner by Lancelot. And you do notice that Matthias is kind of almost instinctually putting himself between Strahd and her.
Almost like his icon lined up perfectly.
And he looks over at Tristan and Tyrion and he says, "You have not been very talkative, either of you."
Still getting the lay of the land, so to speak.
And what is it that you do? What is your profession?
Crafter.
A person with a servant's heart who is beneficial to his community. I like that in a person. How is it that you feel you have come to this dread place?
By a will not my own. Whether for good or for ill, I don't know.
Well, I believe that the will that brought you here has a reason. It has a reason for all things.
Yes. Might you elaborate on the wrong that you wished to right that got you your power, as you were so willing to speak to Lily about?
Certainly. I was to be assassinated by a younger member of the court. Someone previously thought to be of supreme noble character and beloved by the people. Someone who did not know his place. Make an insight check for me, guys.
Everyone?
Yep, everybody who's listening.
It's oddly specific.
Oh, Dole. He's talking?
Ooh, Tristan's enamored. Ooh, sparkly vampire.
I am not sparkly.
Yeah, but you're
Count
gray.
Chocula.
Your still gray eyes are. Oh, sorry.
Tyrion, you do notice that when he says that, you almost notice he shoots a glance over at Matthias.
Mm.
He says, but that was centuries ago. That nature of that crime is long lost to history, and I have long paid for my request for redemption.
I see.
Although I understand you are also a betrayed man. One falsely accused.
Yeah, there is that.
What would you do if you could face your betrayer?
I'm not sure yet. There are conflicts of emotion happening. Things that once seemed certain are not so anymore.
Well, that is curious. I hope you have the wisdom to make the right decision when the time comes.
Yeah, one would hope.
Barovia has a history of unfinished business.
The hammer is going to dissipate at this point. It's been hanging there for a while.
I kind of forgot it was there, actually.
Strahd turns his attention to Tristan. He says, what about you, my handsome friend? You have been notably quiet.
Oh, where are my manners? And with that, with a flourish, I was sitting up on the steps, so I'll get up the steps and walk over and reach out to shake his hand and do it with a flourish, a little bit better bow.
I appreciate your charisma, my friend. Thank you.
My name is Tristan. I am an entertainer from a faraway land, as I'm sure you're well aware of.
I would hope to find some method of entertainment for you before your time here in Barovia is over. It is nice of you to have manners as opposed to your allies here. Perhaps you could teach them to them.
Lily is obviously offended.
So, Tristan, you're an entertainer. What is it that you conceal behind that mask, behind that bounty of charisma?
What makes you think I conceal anything?
Everyone who does a performance is hiding themselves behind that performance.
Edric kind of shifts at that.
I can always tell when there is some deep-seated insecurity in somebody.
I don't believe I have any insecurities, but things might change. I might learn something about myself, but I don't know.
Well, I hope you learn a great deal while you are here. And he kind of looks over at Matthias, and he has just sort of a silent moment with him. He kind of locks eyes with him.
Keeping a very close eye on Matthias as he locks eyes, thinking about what a vampire's gaze can do.
And he will stand and he'll say, well, my time grows short. I have business to attend to, but I was happy I could intervene on your behalf with the hags.
I do believe we owe you thanks for that, at the very least.
You certainly do. But what you most owe me is an interesting challenge. Do not let this happen again. I may not be so magnanimous in my intervention. And he'll kind of come over to walk in front of all of you. But before he does, he kind of takes the pass and he'll lean down and pet Lancelot on the head.
Like puts chills up Edric's spine. Like clearly uneasy about this.
And he will walk over to the entrance, put his cape back on, and bid all of you adieu.
How does he know French?
You think that the first French person I killed has not been here before?
So as soon as like he's out of view, I run upstairs, like, bolting, because there's a child up there still.
That's true.
So you guys head on upstairs. Nobody even had to die. That was cool. So you guys head on upstairs, and when you head upstairs, you kind of come up. There's 2 extra levels of this windmill. When you head up to the top, you do see that there are these sort of dirt-caked windows that allow very little light to enter this 8-foot-high chamber, most of which is taken up by a large millstone connected to a wooden gear shaft that rises through the ceiling in the center of the room. A stone staircase continues up towards the roof, towards the 3rd floor of the windmill. It looks like this is where the oven is. As you guys head up another step, you do come into a cramped circular room. You do see there's a rotting wooden closet with 3 crates stacked one on top of another with small doors set into them. Next to the closet is a heap of discarded clothing, and a ladder climbs to a wooden trapdoor in the 9-foot-high ceiling. There's a moldy bed with a tattered canopy sitting nearby. You guys do hear rattling in the closet.
Edric, are you going to go over there?
Yep, I will go over to the closet and open it up.
Okay.
Cool. When you open it up, you do see that there are 3 little there's 3 cages, and inside there are 2 small children, a young boy and a young girl.
3 cages, 2 kids.
Yep, one of the cages is empty at this time.
At this time,
And the little girl kind of rattles the cage. She says, "Help! Help! Please get us out before those crazy witches come back."
So I would just try to jar open the cage, or open if the cage has a latch, I just unlatch it. But I assume it's locked of some kind.
It is locked, so you're able. It's an easy lock to just break off for you, being a big old strong person. Sort of Jessica Jones the lock off, crunch,
right
throw away. The little girl immediately leaps out as soon as the door's unlocked, and she kind of throws herself into your arms.
Just like
she says,
immediately.
"Thank you, mister. Thank you."
Freaks Edric out. So he's just kind of like frozen, like holding this child, like, and he looks over at the others, like, help.
Was there anyone else that the witches had? I'll be speaking to the boy.
So the little boy, when you unlock the door, he kind of like trundles out very slowly, and he kind of, when he stands up, he just kind of looks up at you, sort of slack-jawed, like.
Careful, he might drown, Alex.
Right? He does not say any words to you.
I will turn to the girl and try to get her attention.
Oh, don't pay any attention to Freak. He doesn't talk. My name's Myrtle. There was another little kid with us, but the hags took him, and we haven't seen him since then.
When did the hags take him?
Last week.
Okay.
And you do notice that the kids aren't starving or anything. They do look really well fed and sort of well taken care of. She says, "My name's Myrtle. I am. I just want to go home.
Where
Are they
where's home?
Valakai.
Well, we are on our way to Valakai.
Edric slowly like pushes the girl off of him toward Tyrion.
Would you like to come with us?
Yes, please. Yes, please. I would like that a lot. Thank you.
All right. Can you keep an eye on our mute friend there while we...
And Myrtle will come and stand beside him, and she says, "Okay, Freak, you here? We're gonna go now, okay?" And she holds his hand.
All right. Give us a moment to collect ourselves. We might not be leaving right away. The hags should not be back anytime soon, however.
Okay. Do you want us to wait here, or do you want us to go with you?
No, you'll come with us, but we're not leaving just yet, I don't believe.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Turn to the group. We need to wait a bit before we head out. That Tristan, or Beetlejaw and Lily, you don't look so good.
Thanks for the update, pal.
Yeah.
I got
Lily
it.
slowly bleeding to death out of her chest wounds.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, actually, Tristan's doesn't look nearly as bad as it used to.
Yeah.
I got healed
Yes.
at the end of the last game.
Yep. I
Does,
do recall.
You said the male child's name is Freak?
Yeah, Freek.
Nice. Is his... Can we tell if his muteness is just by choice or if it's like a disease or something?
Roll an insight check.
One second, let me make a sheet. Nope.
Looking at him, you're not really sure. You're still a little shook up from the Strahd meeting.
Right.
At this point, I'm hearing voices somewhere else.
But he does do anything you guys tell him to do, and he does it completely, almost.
I was trying to figure out
Automatically.
if lay on hands would cure his muteness. But
Mm.
if it was a disease.
Yeah, he almost strikes you. He gives you sort of a similar vibe that the bartender back in Barovia Village did, where he's very much just, this is what I'm doing, and then when I'm done with that, I'll do this, and then when I'm done with that, I'll do this, and it seems very rote for him. It doesn't seem like he has any sort of spark of imagination or creativity or anything like that. He doesn't even seem particularly afraid.
All right. Well, if we're willing to spend some time here, I can cast my prayer of healing, and then we can spend any more hit dice that people might need.
What time of the day is it, Alex? Can we see out a window and tell?
It's still sort of early afternoon. Also, when you look out the window, you do see that there are 4 large stones sitting out behind the windmill. They're sort of almost like Stonehenge megalith kind of stones. They're covered in moss, and they're set in sort of a circle on a hill that's behind the windmill itself.
Do I recognize it as any sort of spellcraft?
Give me an Arcana check.
Next time I'll just roll it on my own then.
Do they align with the compass points?
Sure don't recognize anything.
They align with sort of the alternate compass points, so northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast.
Interesting.
What did you get on your Arcana check, Lily? Sorry, I didn't see it yet.
9.
9. You've seen stones like this, and you know that they do have mystical significance, but you think you'd have to get closer to figure out exactly what these specific ones pertain to.
Well, if we own this place, we may as well take anything the hags left behind if there's anything of value here.
Or anything safe.
Or anything safe. That's another.
While they're doing that, I'm going to step outside and go look at the stones.
Okay.
I will go to like the kitchen-ish area and just sit with Beetle or with Lancelot.
Tristan, do you mind if I come with you to look at those stones?
Sure.
Cool. So Beetlejaw, you're going to go hang out with Lancelot. Tristan and Lily, you guys are going to go check out the stones. And Tyrion, you're going to search the windmill, basically.
Yep, I had Matthias help me with that.
Okay. Are you going to do your prayer of healing before everybody disperses?
Or can we
that
agree
was
the
kind
party
of
we're
my
taking a
plan.
short or a long rest?
It sounds like you guys are going to be taking a short rest, which is about an hour.
Okay.
But you guys can do these activities as part of that rest.
Does short rest reset your health?
They do not reset your health, but they do let you use hit dice if you want to.
And I'm about to give
Tyrion's
everyone.
about to heal everybody a whole bunch of hit points, though. So you might want to see what he does before you start to spend hit dice.
Okay.
Fingers crossed that I end up healing a bunch of hit points. Could
Yeah,
I'm
roll
knock
two
on.
more
more.
worried about like getting spell slots back and stuff like that.
Question for your healing spell.
Yeah.
Does my Song of Rest help with that or not?
I don't know.
Song of Rest would help with hit dice, but it doesn't help with this particular spell.
What I thought, I just figured I'd double check because, yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this out there since it takes 10 minutes for me to put this thing together. There we go. Not too bad.
Hey! So everybody heals 11 hit points.
$11.
11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nope. Don't go beyond 11.
Bound out.
The amp goes to 11.
And then if any of you guys want to spend hit dice, you are more than welcome to do that. And you would get Tristan's Song of Rest added to that, which is an additional D6 on top of whatever hit dice you spend.
I'm going to go ahead and do that.
How many hit dice do we get to spit?
4.
You've got 4 because you're 4th level. So that's 4 hit dice per day.
Okay.
Really hoping it didn't break my wrist earlier. It hurts real bad.
Sorry, is there a bump?
Alex.
So does anybody else? Is anybody spending hit dice? I know Lily
Yeah.
said she wanted to spend 1.
I'm going to. Do we have to say how many?
You can roll 1, and then if you want to roll more, you can.
That's what I wanted. Okay.
How do you add Tristan's thing?
You would just type in /roll D8 plus D6 plus your Constitution modifier.
I'm
Or you
playing
can do
Strum, Song of Rest, Strum.
Where is my hit
I don't-
dice?
I don't remember how you said to type it in, so I'm just gonna do 1,
Hit dice.
please, 1.
And then you get a D6 on top of that, Beetlejaw.
And so
I got a 3.
total of 12.
And then you roll a D8 as well, Lily, plus your Constitution modifier.
Okay, so 3.
So you heal 11 plus your Con mod.
I'm gonna do one more.
Strum.
Ugh, a natural one.
Con mod is 1.
Do I get the plus D6 on all of it?
Every day.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh. Additional 5.
Yay, I'm not gonna die one right away. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
So I wish we could get some spell slots back.
Yeah. Lily gets
Yeah.
all of hers back because she's a warlock, but
Yeah, I don't get shit.
all right. So
Oh, I get my channel divinity back. That's nice.
oh, that's nice. So Tyrion, you search the windmill after while everybody's sort of resting, and Beetlejaw goes to hang out with Lancelot. As you're searching the windmill, you do find in the cabinet downstairs, there is that white cabinet that looks like a pantry cabinet that's got yellow filigree all over it. You open it up, and inside you do find some wooden bowls full of herbs and baking ingredients, including flour, sugar, and several gourds of some powdered white material.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging on the inside of the cabinet doors are a dozen locks of hair, and you do see 3 small label containers that hold elixirs. The first elixir is labeled Youth, which is a golden syrup. The second elixir is labeled Laughter, which looks like a red tea. And the third elixir is a greenish milky liquid labeled Mother's Milk.
Gross.
I kind of turn away for a sec and kind of just go, and I close the pantry.
You do find a chicken coop that contains 3 chickens, a rooster, and a few laid eggs. There's a wooden trunk that has tiny holes bored into its lid.
Wow.
Wow. It contains 100 croaking toads.
Ew.
You do find a barrel that holds this glistening greenish black liquid. And when you open the lid on that barrel, it does smell horrendously like brimstone and sulfur.
Mm.
And you do find 6 pieces of cheap jewelry worth 25 gold pieces each.
Woohoo! That sounds like something I should write down. Well, I guess you found it, but you know.
That's okay. You can write it down.
I don't.
You guys do find a few dozen pies.
Don't eat those.
We know.
I scream from outside, nowhere near you. Apparently, I can see inside now.
Meanwhile, the 2 out at the megaliths, when you head out, you do find that this circle of megaliths, you do see that there is a pile of children's teeth in the center of the 4 of them. All 4 of them seem to have a crude carving of a city on them, each associated with a different season. So you see a city of winter, a city of spring, a city of summer, and a city of autumn. There are several ravens circling overhead. And you do see that there is a small opening that goes down into an underground cavern sort of area.
I don't like the ravens. Do you have any idea what this is?
Do I? Steve,
You could roll an Arcana check or a religion check.
Yeah, your turn.
Steve thinks he does. But Steve's weird. They both kind of suck. So 15.
With a 15, you do get the impression that these megaliths, as you're looking at them, are very, they're incredibly old. They're older than anything you've seen in the valley thus far. Examining them, you do think that they have some kind of mystical significance as a marker of sorts. And you think that they might be connected to other stones in the area. Looking at them, you do get the impression that there's more information underneath in the cavern that's sort of in the middle of them. You would think that druidic people or primitive people would come here to worship.
Do I add
And you
anything?
do think that the children's teeth are probably something that the hags have done to desecrate this area.
So dark magic stuff.
Yeah, specifically, Tristan, you get the impression that these hags are making an offering to an entity that they worship, the wicked archfey, Caitlin of the Crooked Teeth.
I was actually thinking, and not that specific, but I was thinking it was an offering to the Fae. So,
And based on the hill that these things are set upon, you don't think the cavern inside is very deep, but you'd have to go down to figure out more.
And there's no other markings or glyphs or carvings on these stones.
Doesn't appear to be other than the city stuff that you see on them.
And would those cities vaguely line up with some of the other towns I know of around here, or like is the one off to the? You said they were off northeast, southeast, southwest.
Yeah, that does appear to be where they're laid out. But looking back at your map of Barovia, you don't think that lines up with any of the cities in Barovia proper.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me relook. You do know that southeast of here is where the village of Barovia is. Castle Ravenloft is more directly to the east of you, more than northeast. Valakai would be northwest of where you guys are, and it does look like there is some kind of structure to the southwest of where you are.
Okay. But I think this thing looks really old, like hundreds of years old.
Probably even older than that. You think it might be older than Strahd's arrival in the valley.
I'm going to walk in and remove the teeth.
Cool.
Bold.
So yeah, you go ahead. You pile up what are you going to do with them?
I'm going to take them outside of the ring.
Okay. You take them out and you just throw them on the ground. What are you going to do with all those children teeth? Something you never thought you'd hear in a game of D&D.
It's definitely more of a changeling thing. I get the impression that the archfey that they were worshiping is one of the darker ones. Do I know of a counterpart for her that's more on the silly side, given my Fey ancestry being a half elf?
Yeah, give me another Arcana check.
Nope. 7.
Can I help him out with that since I'm there?
Yeah, you can assist to give him advantage.
Does that mean he re-rolls? Or
yeah, he can roll again and take the higher of the two.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
12?
With the 12, you're not really sure of a specific counter on the Sealy side of things to this particular fairy creature. But you do know that there are the opposing Fey courts. So you would think that there is probably some Fey associated with children that is better on the other side. Just can't think of a specific name for one.
Yeah, and if I can't think of one, I can't think of how to get the teeth to them. As creepy as it sounds, I guess I'm gonna hang on to the teeth for now.
Okay. So add to my notes, Tristan's got baby teeth.
I mean, I'm adding it to mine. Do I notice, are the ravens watching us at all, or?
They do appear to be giving you guys a really close examination.
And I get the impression they're probably staying outside the ring, aren't they?
They are. Even aerially, they're staying out of the ring.
What I expected.
So, Tristan, do you want to go into the cavern or do you want to go back inside? Because
I would like to check the cavern before we leave, but I would like to also make sure everyone else knows we're going to check the cavern before we leave, or before we go in case there's concerns about doing that.
this is why we go in pairs.
If you guys go in by yourself, I'll give you a point of inspiration.
Don't do that.
Bribery.
Don't look at me. My first adventure campaign heart is like, that sounds really fair. But like, I don't know.
I just know Lily is curious and Tristan is reckless.
Fine. I'll take the inspiration. I'm going to go in.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. I'll just like yell really loud, and if they hear us, they hear us. They don't, they don't.
Hey, we're going to the underground cavern. What?
Did you hear something? No.
What? The bard's falling on the wall again, Timmy?
I mean, Beetlejuice got like supersonic hearing.
Beetlejuice inside.
All right, so you guys head down into that small underground cavern beneath the megaliths. As you head down, you do see that you come to sort of this underground cavern, and there are stone etchings that depict a tall, long-haired, well-muscled woman wielding a spear and a bow and arrows. You see the left etching shows this woman chasing a deer through a forest alongside a trio of friendly wolves. The right carving depicts this woman devouring the freshly carved heart from a boar's corpse, a bloodstained dagger in her other hand. You do see that there is an altar in this cavern near the back where you guys come in. The wall behind the altar is covered by a half-rotted tapestry depicting a trio of old crones, one of whom resembles the woman in the etching. The second woman bears short raven-like hair, and the third has sharp angled cheeks and long flowing black hair. They all wear ragged tunics of hides and sort of rough cloth. You do see that the front of the altar bears a series of words that are written in the Druidic language. So if either of you speak that, I can tell you what it says.
I don't speak that, but I do have what do I have? I have a thing that tells me I can read things. At least I thought it would. I know Elvish.
I think you have a warlock invocation that lets you decipher script, maybe.
Where is this? Where would it be?
Just like a roll call check. So we got 2 people that are in the caverns, right? And the other 3 of us are still in the house. They have
Yep.
windmill.
Yep.
I know I have something. I know I have something like that. I just don't know.
Check on D&D Beyond. I don't see it on your character sheet in Roll20.
Okay.
I do think it is one of the benefits you got at level 2, alongside your ability to detect magic.
That kind of
At will.
makes sense for a researcher role.
Eldrick no. Pack something. Oh yeah, Eyes of the Runekeeper. You can read all writing.
All right, so you can certainly read this writing.
Yes.
Looking at this writing, your patron sort of whispers in your ear, and sort of the symbols in Druidic script kind of glow in this pale purple black light as the letters pluck themselves off of the altar in a language you can comprehend. And they sort of float in front of your field of vision, invisibly to anybody except yourself. And they read, "Mistress of the Green, Lady of the Forest, I offer you my sacrifice. I ask you for your blessing. You are the eye in the trees, the hunter of the woods, who brings life to the dawning spring. You are the deer in rut, mighty horned one, who roams the autumn woods, the hunter circling round the oak, the antlers of the wild stag, and the lifeblood that spills upon the ground each season. Mistress of the Green, Lady of the Forest, I offer you my sacrifice. I ask you for your blessing."
Don't suppose you could read that, can you?
Nope.
Well, would you like to know what it says, or just assume it's as ominous as it feels?
I would actually like to know what it says.
Well, I repeat everything he just said because I tried to write it down and that was a lot more than I thought.
I'll copy and paste it over to you.
Yay! I got Mistress of the Green, Lady of the Forest. There you
Magic, the magic of the internet.
go. There's some sacrifices happening.
That's D20 modern, not D20. Mistress of the internet.
You do notice that there is a stone bowl on the altar, and there is a ceremonial dagger made out of some kind of black stone that's been hand carved, napped.
You want it? I'll get it.
Nope. We'll leave that. We'll leave it where it's at.
That's a good idea. That's fair. Is there anything with my patron that's all she did was just whisper those words to me?
Yes, at this time.
Okay. Wow, this is a curse.
No, actually, I don't think it's that bad, actually.
The invocation?
Yeah. There are a lot of older religions, the old faiths, that deal with the balance and the cycles and, the natural order of things. That seems like,
there you go.
Back in the Flyness, it seems like it reminds me of some of the druids there. So we're just going to leave this place undisturbed. It's not for us.
Do you know why I wonder why up top, like with the teeth, seem much darker than down here. Intriguing.
I think the teeth thing was the hags trying to desecrate this place. I think this place is older than the hags and older than Strahd.
Oh.
Back to the old faiths, before Strahd and even Istis and Obahai and the rest of the pantheons that I'm used to. So, and if any place if you're gonna invoke some kind of desecration upon a place like this, the best bet is the wrath of the Fae, because they're also tied to the wild world. So.
Wow. I guess there is stuff that I didn't learn from my books. How about that?
Well, I mean, that's just from the lands I come from. I could be completely off base here, like way off base. So,
well, to be fair, I'm not from anywhere close to here, so I am going to assume you were right.
Yeah. So, shall we go back in and at least loop the others into what we found?
Yeah. Do we see anything that we need, or just leave it all untouched?
Yeah, leave it untouched. I mean.
Okay. Then off we go. But let's hurry because I don't want those ravens watching us much longer.
No, I don't think we're going to lose them anytime soon. So.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure they work for Strahd. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go inside and tell the others what we found.
So cutting back as you guys are hanging out in the cave, what is are Tyrion and Beetlejaw and Matthias doing anything?
I'm still sitting with the dog in the kitchen.
I'm probably trying to keep the kids, at least Matilda, calm, since it seems like Freak doesn't need calming.
Yeah, the little girl, she is very interested in whatever you guys are doing. She's kind of following right behind you, Tyrion, as you're making your way through the windmill, checking everything.
Right. Just kind of annoying and kind of endearing at the same time.
She's got a very much like, what are you doing? When are we going? Sort of like asking a lot of questions and not really taking any of the answers thing going on.
It's like, once the others are back, 10 times later, once the others are back.
When are they going to be back?
Soon, I hope.
Where do you come from? What are you doing here?
Helping you get home.
How did you know we were here?
We didn't. We just stumbled by and found that you were in need of help,
Oh,
and you can thank the one downstairs for that, the one that opened your cage.
he seems very brave. Are you very brave?
Foolhardy more than brave. I'll put it that way.
I was asking why you were looking for us, because I was hoping maybe my mommy sent you.
We haven't made it to Valakai yet, so no. Unfortunately, no one sent us to find you, but I'm sure she's looking for you.
I don't think so.
No?
She gave me to Granny
Oh.
to pay for pies.
Well, I look at Irina. I think I know somewhere you can stay when we get back to Valakai.
Irina kind of nods in your direction. She says the church can definitely help you.
I'd hope so.
I think there's an orphanage in Valakai too, so that might not be a bad thing to look into.
Let's not take her to the orphanage if we can. Let's just say, not had the best of luck with orphanages.
Whatever you say. And around this time, you guys sort of reunite.
All right. Shall we? We've got a long road, and I'd like to get there. I'd like to put this day behind us.
Tristan and Lily, do you guys want to share your findings with the group before you guys get to move on, or
Yeah.
as you guys are going to move on?
As we're packing up to go, kind of fill everyone in real quick. Ring of Standing Stones, Hag Shrine desecrated, old druidic Karen mound back there, altar to the old faiths, looks like. Predates, well, I think predates Barovia. Definitely predates Strahd.
Also, did we hear her say that her mom sold her for pies?
No.
Tyrion did. Beetlejaw did.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get a move on. Valakai awaits at the end of this road, hopefully.
Yeah. Did we take our short rest then?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Sweet.
So, based on where we're at now, do we know how far Valakai is from us?
It'll be a few more hours. You think it'll be around sundown by the time you guys arrive at town?
So we think we'll get there by sundown.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So you guys begin to party. And as you leave the front of the windmill, you do see that Granny had her wagon coming up the road. You do see there is a bag with a writhing sack on it. Somebody is struggling inside the bag to get out.
I'm gonna open the bag and let the kid out.
Yeah, sure enough, a little kid falls out on his head. He kind of comes up with his fist up like he's ready to fight.
Greetings, young lad.
Oh, you're not that ugly hag. Who are you?
We have sent the hags elsewhere. You're
That's
going
right. They should have run off before I gave them fisticuffs.
Sure. You're going with us to Valakai, so that you'll be safe.
Wait, we have a third kid?
We have a third kid.
He says,
More humans.
He says, I guess I can, be your bodyguard as you guys are making your way back to Valakai. Kind of puffs his little chest out and does a little boxer thing where he rubs his thumb against his nose.
Does he have one of those like newsboy caps made out of burlap?
He does.
Falls out of the bag with him.
How did you know?
He says, my name's Lucian. And he sticks a hand out to shake, and he overzealously shakes whoever's hand takes his.
I'll take it.
She's lucky she snuck up on me and put me in this bag. Never would have taken me if she hadn't got the drop on me. That's right. He spits on the ground.
Aww. Are all humans this fun?
Only when they're small.
This is your idea of fun?
No.
It's cute.
Ugh. Beetlejaw just like kind of like takes in advance like 5 to 10 steps ahead of the parties with the dog, so they can have to deal with this.
The girl is probably right on your heel since I told her that you were the one that saved her.
She certainly is.
As she approaches, Edric kind of like looks at her, realizes he's being followed, and kind of like quickens the step a little bit, just trying to evade.
She picks up her pace. She's like, "Wait, you're the brave one. I want to follow you."
Ugh, humans. Fine, but please stay right by my side and don't make a sound.
But how am I supposed to ask you questions if I can't make a sound?
That's the point, child.
I will follow your lead, adult.
He like shoots a glance back at her, like, and then like 25, 30 steps later, he kind of like snaps and points at her so that Lancelot will go and accompany the kid.
And she'll kind of get down and nestle with his jowls and roll with him on the ground a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The brave one has a dog. This is the best day ever.
Beetlejaw tries to hide a smile, and then they just keep moving.
All right, you guys go off on your merry way into the Valley of Barovia, leaving this terrible, terrible windmill behind you.
For now.
Shall not be missed.
And your little marker goes on its way. Boop.
Boop.
I've been drawing in your path with dots as you guys have been going along.
Oh, thank you. So nice of you.
Is Patsy the one that does all our artwork?
No, Patsy is Lily's mom.
Oh, just forgot Lancelot in my picture. I don't know what that means.
She
Did your
took
mom draw
a family
picture?
Christmas card.
Oh, the memes, the little emojis. Got it.
Yep. All right, so you guys go heading on your way. The Old Svalich Road meanders into a valley watched over by dark, brooding mountains to the north and south. The woods recede, revealing a sullen mountain berg surrounded by a wooden palisade. Thick fog presses up against this wall as though looking for a way inside, hoping to catch the town aslumber. The dirt road ends at a set of sturdy iron gates with a pair of shadowy figures standing behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the road outside the gates are a half-dozen pikes with wolf's heads impaled on them. You do see that this wall is about 15 feet tall. The sun is going down as you guys arrive in this sort of almost bustling city. This is the largest collection of people you guys have seen in probably a week since you left whatever respective settlements you left before you were brought to Barovia. As you and your wagon train of small children and other hanger-ons kind of begin making your way up, I think that's where we'll go ahead and take our 5-minute break.
Okay.
Great.
Excellent.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for sticking around with us. We are back from the break. Our intrepid heroes have just finished up their business at the old bone grinder windmill. They have driven off the hags thanks to a timely intervention by Strahd, is how Strahd is going to see it. They've rescued a couple of kids, and they discovered a massive megalith that has some kind of hidden altar underneath it, which may or may not come back into the story at a later time. I guess it depends on that. It depends on what they do. And they have found themselves staring out across this, at the edge of the road, looking at this heavily fortified town. As you guys approach the gates, you do hear a voice yell out, "Halt! Who goes there?"
We go there.
And who exactly are we, you, they?
We are a band of escorts bringing home some children who have been lost in the wilderness.
All right. Wait there for a second, and one of the guards will come down. You do notice that there are a couple of guards on top of the gate itself. They are wearing sort of this relatively heavy armor, and on the pauldrons, you do see they have these yellow, almost smiley faces painted on the pauldrons. There's a smiley face on one pauldron and a VV on the other pauldron.
Emoji nights.
So the gates open, and they lead you in, and the gate closes behind you, and you do see that there's sort of an area between two gates. A couple of guards approach you guys as you are led into this central sort of area, and one guard steps forward, says, "All right then, what are your identities and your business in town?"
Oh, I'm Tristan. I'm just a humble performer and traveler. While on the roads, I've joined the band with obviously safety in numbers. So we're traveling through on our way past, and we just need lodging for the evening and to visit the church. And we've also just returning some children that were recently we found along the road.
All right, Tristan, are the other members of your traveling party here mute, or are they going to introduce themselves as well?
It takes a while for us to wait for him to finish. Name's Tyrion.
Funny enough, one of us is mute, so it's kind of rude, but my name's Lily.
Matthias will say that he is Matthias, and he's just a humble soldier from Pine Creek.
I am called Edric, and then I introduce Lancelot. This is Lancelot. And we have here Freak and Irina and girl's name who I can't remember.
Myrtle.
Myrtle.
And there's a little tough boy named Lucian.
Oh yeah, forgot the third kid.
Irina will say, "My name is Irina Kolyana. I am the daughter of Burgomaster in Kolyan and Dirovich. I am looking for sanctuary in this town." And they say, "Oh, Mistress Irina, I apologize. We did not notice that you were here with this group." Then the guy asks you, "Okay, so those are your names, that's your business. What is your opinion of the Devil's Strahd?"
I think we're still working on formulating that opinion.
And he kind of crosses his arms at that. He says, "Does he speak for the rest of your group?"
Kind of forward, but don't like him that much.
We are not from these lands. We're from far away. We're only loaned of Strahd recently.
Well, I think as a citizen of Barovia, it is clear that the devil is the incarnation of evil incarnate. And he kind of fumbles over his words a little bit.
Yeah, that. We agree. Let's go.
He says, "I need to make this perfectly clear for you. Part of your registration with the town is to ensure that you are not a supporter of the devil himself. If you cannot convincingly say that you despise him and all that he does, I'm afraid that I will not be allowed to give you access."
Wow, that guy's the worst. I hate him a lot. Smells bad. Real rude.
Give me a persuasion check, Lily.
Wait, I could totally use thaumaturgy on this dude. Or charm person or something. Well, charm person they know afterwards.
Yes, spell slots.
Yeah.
She took a short rest. Warlocks get them back on a short rest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Warlocks be jinky that one.
Yeah, but charm person, they know they've been charmed. So I don't
Yeah.
really want to do that.
No.
But I can always do thaumaturgy as a cantrip if I need to. Hey, my charisma is pretty high, so maybe that'll work. I can't see it yet. Probably not then.
He will say, very well, that is easy enough, I suppose. And you are traveling with Irina, so I will pass you through the introductory phase of getting into Valakai.
Thank you.
These says that there are certain laws that you must follow while you are within Valakai, brought down by the great burgomaster Vargas Valakovich. Once inside, the mention of the name Strahd is strictly illegal, even in written form. Know that even now, as I say the name, it is the last time you will hear it within these gates. Instead, if you must refer to the aforementioned individual, you will refer to him simply as the Devil. Law number 2. This noble town holds a festival each week in honor of the residents' general merriment and continued support of the burgomaster, Baron Vargas Valakovich. As guests of Valakai, you will not be required to aid in the preparation of our festivals. However, your attendance and participation in each and every festival is absolutely mandatory for the length of your stay. Failure to attend will be in strict opposition to Valakian law. The next great Valakian festival, the Festival of the Blazing Sun, will be held in 3 days' time in the town square. Failure to comply with any Valakian law will mark you as criminals in our city, and you will be punished as such in accordance to our justice system. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask.
What's the punishment?
Punishments vary from anything from time in the stockade to hanging.
What's the Blazing Sun Festival?
The Blazing Sun is a festival in honor of the Baron's wondrous efforts to protect our city and prevent the Devil Strahd from setting foot in our fair city for at least 100 years.
All right.
What's with the, I point to the yellow paint pauldron.
That is a friendly reminder to all citizens of Valakai that all will be well so long as they continue to have no negative thoughts and experience no negative emotions. Only your failure to maintain your own happiness will result in the destruction of our town by the devil himself. Our ability to remain positive is exactly what has kept the devil at bay for so long.
I kind of give everyone in the group a side eye as he says that.
Definitely meeting your side eye. With more side eye.
Okay. Anything else that we need to know about when wandering around in Valakai so that we don't accidentally break any other rules or regulations that you have?
The ones that outsiders seem to have the most difficulty with is the maintaining of a positive attitude. Any discussion of the grim realities outside these walls is strictly prohibited. You do have the right to bear arms. However, I will have to register your weapons before you head into the village.
Mm.
So,
See, that-
if you
so
would
that's
please
why-
present your weapons for registry.
Does registry means that you are holding the weapons, or does that mean that you just know that we have them?
We're just going to note that you have them. We know that this is a dangerous place, and certain tools of your trades are necessary for your survival and for the benefit of all citizens of Valakai.
Any way I could persuade him to not do that? If anyone
He
wants
seems
me to.
pretty adamant about it.
Okay.
If he's not going to take the weapons, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't just abide by the law.
Okay. Okay, well.
So Edric will put his sword down, or show his swords.
I don't know what all I have. I have a crossbow and a sickle.
So there is a guy who comes out and he starts transcribing what weapons you have. He writes down a general description of what the item is, and he writes down a description of what the item looks like, any noteworthy features, nicks. It if it's well maintained, well cared for, anything like that, he takes extreme detailed notes of.
Dagger, quarterstaff, cunning wit,
Sharp tongue.
I'm really in love with Kevin's picture right now. Every time I see it, it warms my soul.
Poor Kevin.
I know.
probably
You are
more.
missed.
You are missed, Kevin. We miss you all the time.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
So the guy gets the guy would get to me, and I just kind of turn out my cloak and like, nope, no weapon here.
You would.
Technically, the shield is not a weapon. It is when I use it, but it's not when it's not what they consider a weapon.
It is not. And he just kind of look at you. He's very curious about the fact that you don't have a weapon on you. He kind of looks you up and down. Well, that is very, very strange, isn't it? How do you protect yourself?
That's what this is for. And I suppose I conjure a flame. That counts as well. But you really can't, as I extinguish and reignite and extinguish and reignite. It's kind of hard to write that down, isn't it?
I can write down that you are a spellcaster of some kind.
I keep my mouth shut.
Yep, me too.
We're like, huh, that's weird. What are those?
What are those?
Do you guys have any libraries here? I'm going to ask that before we head in.
He says, we do not.
Well, okay.
That is not for the merriment and enjoyment of the people of Alakai to keep a positive attitude, to go learn things about the outside world.
Thanks for your continual hatred of my books. But this is
that was out of character.
Someone's showing that Kool-Aid pretty damn well.
So, do you guys enter?
We enter.
Awesome. You make your way into the city of Valakai,
where the people are perpetually keeping a plastered smile on their face.
They certainly are. Oh, let me go and find. Boop. Okay. So you guys come into town. This is the gate you walk in, this eastern gate here. As you are making your way through, you do sort of come walking through the town. You do notice that there is a great deal of people sort of milling about. There is a great collection of smiling, happy people making their way to and fro on all sorts of business.
Make an insight check to see if they're really happy or if they're just putting on a really brave face.
Go ahead.
I mean, Sam, do I detect anything with magic? I mean, you know what? This question just seems like so broken in this land. It doesn't even matter.
You don't detect anything magical happening.
Okay.
In this town. Tyrion, you can definitely tell that the majority of people here are putting on a fake smile. There's a few people who have definitely sort of drank the Kool-Aid, as Tristan was saying, who sort of are imbibing this idea and embodying this idea.
Is someone repairing a wall somewhere because they keep drinking all this Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
Jokes.
As you make your way into town, though, you do see, as you come into this town square, the shops and homes that enclose the town square are decorated with limp, tattered garlands and painted wooden boxes filled with tiny dead flowers. At the north end of the square stands a row of stocks, locked in which are several men, women, and children wearing crude plaster donkey heads. In the center of the square, peasants in patchwork clothes eye you suspiciously as they use cups and vases to draw water from a crumbling stone fountain. Standing tall at the center of the fountain is a gray statue of an impressive man facing west. All around the square are posted proclamations. Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Wolf's Head Jamboree. Attendants and children required. Pikes will be provided. All will be well. The Baron.
Children are required.
That's what it says. You do see that there are a couple of guards still wearing those pauldrons with the smiley face symbols on them. They're putting new proclamations over the old ones. These proclamations say, "Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the festival of the blazing sun. Attendants and children required. Rain or shine, all will be well. The Baron." You also notice over by the fountain there is a small stage that has been set up, and you see there is a man on that stage conducting what looks like a puppet show. And that man looks like...
And he's by himself?
He is by himself. He's sort of knelt behind his little puppet box. And he's got this big hat on and this sort of, outlandish, colorful outfit.
He's never by himself when he has his puppets.
I don't think anybody's by themselves when they have their puppets.
No. Oh, yes.
He kind of looks like this, and he has two puppets going on right now. The one puppet you notice looks a little bit like Beetlejaw. And you see this puppet is racing across the little puppet stage with its little puppet sword, and it looks like it's fighting with a large sort of knight on a skeletal horse. You see the puppet master is sort of making them fight with each other, and there are several children sitting in front of this display, seemingly having a good time. You do see a couple kids that remind you of Freak, though, who are just sort of standing there not really getting it.
What is this? So,
and when I say it looks like Beetlejaw, I mean it is wearing the black and white doublet. It's got sort of the long cape and the wide-brimmed hat. It has a sword.
So Edric kind of steps forward and kind of hanging out at the edge of the crowd, watching the puppets very intently.
Does Myrtle go join the kids or run away to go find her parents, or is she still...
Myrtle is still not leaving Beetlejaw's side.
Of course.
And the puppet master, he is still spinning this tale. He says, "And then the mighty Beetlejaw sprang forth from the bushes and brought down the servants of the terrible Dracon, one by one, over and over again, striking fear into the hearts of all those who would harm the innocent." And then he says, "But Beetlejaw was not alone. He had a beautiful friend who came with him." And he kind of brings out this other puppet who's dressed in sort of this flowing, colorful outfit with a long red trench coat. Sort of a beautiful woman with long, flowing black hair and dark brown skin. She's also wielding a sword. And at this point, he kind of puts the Beetlejaw and the other puppet, the lady puppet, into one hand. He's kind of controlling both of them. And the knight sort of rises up. It picks itself up off the ground where Beetlejaw was fighting with it. And he continues spinning the story about how they work together and they vanquish this terrible monster thanks to the teachings of their educator.
So, 2 questions. One, how many of the party still don't know that my name is Beetlejaw? I'm pretty sure it's everybody but Lily, right?
I think it is everybody but Lily.
Okay. So they're all going to see a resemblance of me and this character, but have no idea what the name Beetlejaw is except for Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Am I close enough to you to lean in and ask, is he talking about you?
Well, 1 second. So the second question I had is, do I recognize the red woman?
You do. She is another student of Rudolph van Richten.
Okay, that's who I thought you were going for, but I just want to make sure. Mm-hmm. So Edric's kind of frozen in fear almost, watching this unfold. there's almost like a hungry look in his eye, but at the same time, like you could see like wrinkles beginning to form on his face as that petrified. And he just mutters to himself, "How?"
The children all seem very amused and impressed.
Lily, you were saying something.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if I was close enough to you to ask if that's you without the group hearing us. I don't know our like order.
But
I think for the sake of roleplay, we can say you are.
Okay.
Yes,
quick
I'm.
question for Alex.
Mm-hmm.
With prestidigitation, can I go and add some sound effects and like short swords clanking and stuff like that to kind of help sell the little story he's spinning?
Oh yeah, for sure. And you do notice he kind of cocks a thankful smile to you as you do that, and he seems to roll with it very well. You do think he is trained in improvisation as you are. And the children who are not like Freak do erupt with glee at the sight of the added like sparks and pyrotechnics and the sound effects.
Kind of.
So
Go ahead.
he looks at Lily, who asked him if that was him, and kind of just briefly stares at her. Not really sure how to answer that question. And then looks back at Tristan, who he notices is kind of manipulating the story a little bit. Tristan, are you in on this?
Tristan's been like, as he's doing that, he's just kind of cutting between the puppet and you and the puppet and you. Kind of this physical look on his face, like,
Tristan, what is your ploy in this? What are you getting out of this?
hoping to get some information out of the entertainer after this is done. So I'm trying to get on, But I have no idea where he got that puppet of you from. And
How do
why
you-
did he get such a name like Beetlejaw? That's just weird.
Edric kind of just huffs it off. And kind of thinks to him, or says, mutters under his breath, "I knew I couldn't trust any of you," and kind of storms off.
They call me the Jean McQueen.
Snap those fingers.
The dog follows him. So
Where is he going?
I don't know. I'll go ask.
he's heading in the direction of like where it kind of loops down south of N7.
Okay.
Heading toward N3, just so you know, that's the direction he picked.
Bar. Pub.
Words are hard.
Yes, they are. I agree. I guess I'll follow him. Let's see
Okay.
what were you saying, Tristan? Sorry, I don't know if the thing cut out or.
Just make sure he doesn't get too grumpy in front of the guard.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, they arrest people for that here.
Yeah.
I run after him with a really fake smile on my face. Nothing's wrong here.
So the puppet show does wrap up, and whatever flourish you want to add to the finale, Tristan, you are 100% allowed to do so.
Lots of extra little clanks and sparks and thud when the dark night falls to the ground.
Perfect. So yeah, the puppeteer will stand up and he'll gesture for you to come and take a bow as well. The kids all jump up and they clap with adoration. And as they sort of leave, the puppeteer will turn to you, Tristan, and will say, "Well, thank you very much for the assistance. I don't think I had them quite the way that I would have if I hadn't had you intervene." What is your name that I may properly thank the great entertainer?
I am Tristan. I'm just a traveling entertainer.
Oh, it is very nice to meet you, Tristan. I am the great Piddlewick. As you're sort of looking him up and down, you do see that he is a half-elf like you, Tristan. He's got sort of this blonde hair, this slight pointed ears. And he says, I take it that you, like me, are a traveler to this land.
Yes, yes. I am from pretty far away, actually.
Well, I too am from a faraway land. I came here with my circus, and I am the only one left.
So where was this? Where do you call home?
Well, here for now. I stay at the Blue Water Inn near here. Care to go for a drink with me?
Kind of.
Night is falling.
Shoot a look to the rest of the party. We have a recommendation of an inn to stay in. Did we want to check it out?
We've got to get Irina and the kids to the church first. But
True.
go ahead. Go get us the table. Matthias and I will meet you there. And hopefully Lily will have dragged Edric back from whatever crawled up his doublet.
Blue Water Inn.
All right.
He'll sort of mark on the map for you, just for your knowledge. N2 is the Blue Water Inn.
Okay.
He will also point you towards the church, which the church is N1.
That's what I figured. All right. Come on, Matthias. Let's see our job to the end, right?
I agree. Although my face hurts from all this fake smiling.
You and me both.
And you guys sort of go making your way off to the church.
Yep.
Which cutscene do you want to cut to?
I think I still want to keep following the Tristan and Piddlewick through line for the moment.
Go for it.
So yeah, Tristan and Piddlewick, you guys head on over to the Blue Water Inn. You do see that it is there's gray smoke rising from the chimney of this large 2-story wooden building with a stone foundation and sagging tile roof, upon which several ravens have perched. A painted wooden sign hanging above the main entrance depicts a blue waterfall. And Piddlewick will lead you inside, and he'll kind of sit you down. It looks like he has a table that he always sits at. He seems like a regular fixture of this tavern. A lot of people, smile at him and greet him as he comes in. You do see there is a friendly-looking middle-aged woman behind the bar that's got this kind of salt and pepper, black and gray hair. She's wiping down the bar, and she's running back and forth, taking drink orders. And it does seem very lively. It seems like there are quite a few people here this time of night as the evening is beginning to seep in. And Piddlewick leads you to his table. He'll sort of plop down. He says, "What are you drinking, my friend? I'm afraid all we have in this godforsaken valley is wine, but if you appreciate wine, I can definitely get you some of that."
Yes, wine would be nice. So what do you call home? Or where was home before here?
Oh, I was from a place far from here, a forgotten realm of some. I think it's called Faerun, the city of Neverwinter.
Out of character, I'm spacing. Isn't one of our party members from?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyrion is from the Forgotten Realms.
Yes. Yes. One of my companions I'm traveling with is also hails from that land.
Oh, wonderful! Glad.
Sure whereabouts.
Glad I'm not the only person. Glad I'm not the only person brought here from there. I'd like to get his. I'd like to get some recent current events if he ever stops back.
Oh, they'll be joining us shortly. They just had some business to finish before it got too late.
Excellent. And he'll sort of gesture up to the woman behind the bar, and he puts up 2 fingers, and she comes over with 2 tankards of red wine. And she brings out a bowl of hot beet soup and fresh bread for you guys.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, love. My name's Danica Mardikov. Thank you for spending some time here in the Blue Water Inn with us.
Do you also have rooms available?
Aye, we do have rooms available. The bed for the night costs 1 electrum piece if you have them.
Yeah, so we'll probably take a couple because I have some companions joining me shortly.
Excellent. Just let me know when they arrive, and I'll work up your total for you.
Excellent. Thank you, my lady.
It's nice to meet a young man with manners. And she kind of shoots a dirty look to a couple of patrons over at a booth who seem to be like carousing more than they should be.
Well into their cups.
Very well into their cups. A couple of young party boy looking guys. So, tell me about yourself, Tristan. I take it from your performance that you are an entertainer like myself.
Yes. Schooled in many performance types, primarily musical and other skills.
Well, that's phenomenal. I myself was trained in stage construction more than anything. My job was to help build, I'm blanking on the names of these things, the rings for the circus, and to set up the tents and get everybody else ready for their performances. But since I'm the only member left, I've sort of taken it upon myself to be an entertainer more than a set builder. Puppets, I find, are the best way for me to entertain others, because they don't have to look at my face.
Very well crafted. Puppets, indeed. Did you make them?
I did. Hard to find good materials around here, but I was able to get a good deal down at the Von Holtz vending house in town. The young man who runs that place is a big proponent of the arts, I guess.
Always nice to have patrons.
Do you have any advice for staging better performances? I'm always happy to trade notes with other entertainers.
Puppeteering is not my forte, but yeah. we can see what we can come up with. I'm sure, I'm happy to bounce ideas off.
Certainly. Do you have any stories that you could give me that I could probably construct into some kind of puppet show?
Certainly. I got plenty of stories I can share with you.
I'll trade you a story for a story.
Sounds like a deal. That was a very interesting one you were telling earlier today. Where did you hear that one from?
Oh, I had a patron tell me the story. It seemed like a good tale. Freakish mutant and a beautiful woman teaming up to overthrow a terrible, terrible monster. It seemed a little gauche to me, but definitely run of the mill as far as fairy tales go.
Well, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. So.
Well, then I will regale you with the next puppet show I'm working on. You see, I'm working on a story right now that involves a man-eating plant with a beautiful singing voice who tricks this young boy into feeding it human blood in exchange for power. I think it's going to be a success.
It sounds very over the top, and I'm sure the audiences would love that.
Well, the Baron here appreciates over the top merriment, so to speak.
Yes, I got that impression. So how long have you been here?
Oh, it's been about 2 years now since I've been here.
some time.
Too long, I'm afraid. Not that there's anything wrong with living in Valakai. I would like to go home at some point.
And understand that. Understandable. I've not been in lands nearly that long. We've only been here for a few short days.
Well, those short days quickly add up to long years, I'm afraid. I hope whatever brought you here will release you post haste.
Well,
However, if it doesn't, I would be more than happy to add you to my circus.
well, thank you for the offer, but I definitely have traveling companions that I need to watch out for. So, and then not much. I don't think they'd be very good circus folk.
You'd be surprised the kind of folk who make good circus folk. And with that, speaking of your friends who wouldn't make good circus folk, we sort of head over to where Lily and Edric are storming through the city. You guys come up around the bend. Lily, do you catch him?
Where are the kids, first of all, before we do this?
They went off with Tyrion
Matthias.
and Matthias.
Okay, that was my assumption. Okay.
I don't. Wait, am I allowed to make that kind of decision?
Role play. Yes.
Yes, I catch up to him. Don't forget to smile. No, but really, we got to smile here. I know you're upset, but I don't think that anyone in our party has anything to do with this.
He's still like stomping forward, like completely ignoring what you're saying.
No.
Give me perception checks, guys.
Oh boy. Hey.
Both of you guys definitely notice that people are noticing that Edric is upset.
Edric, please.
And you get the impression that a few of them are thinking about summoning the guards.
So I have a question on this, Alex. His shawl or his collar of his jacket, doesn't it not hide the smile or not smile thing?
It does, but they're sort of picking up on the body language.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that before.
Yeah, they can definitely sort of tell that you're in a mood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, go ahead and take a point of inspiration, Beetlejaw, because that was sort of a slap in the face from the past.
Ow. I like smack you with my tail to like get your attention to stop. Like my own cat over here. Stop it. Sorry.
Mine's doing the same thing.
As you guys are sort of making your way, you do come across, off to your right, you see a cramped shop with a dark entrance portico, above which hangs a wooden sign shaped like a rocking horse with a B engraved on both sides. Flanking the entrance are two arched lead-framed windows, and through the dirty glass you see jumbled displays of toys and hanging placards bearing the slogan, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky."
That's on the map. What does that correlate to? N3?
N7.
Okay. On the right. Oh, you said right.
Oh my goodness, we're so far away.
All right. So he's still kind of like full panic mode, not really acknowledging that she's even talking.
Do I see anywhere that I could like just kind of drag him away from people's eyesight? Is that what you're talking about with the shop? Like there's nothing going on in there, or
It doesn't look like there's any patrons, and you could probably drag him in there if you wanted to get him off the street.
okay, I would like to attempt to drag you into the shop to get off the street.
Well, I'm unwilling, so you're going to have to roll for that.
You are definitely going to have to roll for that.
What do I roll?
You're gonna have to roll to hit him, and then you're gonna have to roll an opposed strength check.
This is awesome. I don't. What am I rolling? What
Like
button?
roll a 20.
Okay.
Like you're trying to
roll,
attack.
roll an unarmed attack.
Is that a D20? Is that what you're saying, or is that like a? Oh no, it's a thing in here.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a D20 plus your strength plus your proficiency bonus.
Unarmed attack.
So a D20 plus 2 is what you're looking at.
So I can just roll a D20 and add 2 to that then? Is that what you're
Yep.
saying?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. Wow.
Nat 20.
Well, haha.
Beetlejaw, I'm going to say with a
Alright.
nat 20, she drags you into the store.
I assume that's gonna get it.
I'm so strong.
She
Haha.
like gives him whiplash, basically, like pulling him into this.
Lily's got that concerned mother strength that rips a car off of a baby in
Right.
trouble.
And
That's
this
it.
like sudden jolt of being pulled kind of like snaps him out of it a little bit.
Go Lash.
And he looks Lily in the eye and then kind of like looks around to see who's possibly listening. Do I need a perception check for that, or is there just nobody around?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
You got it. Do I get advantage on that because I have hearing?
Yeah. So with a 13, as she drags you into the entrance portico of this toy shop, you don't see anybody around. You do hear in the back of the toy shop, it sounds like somebody is whistling to themselves.
Okay.
And you do hear like tools working.
Okay.
But you guys have a moment alone in the portico.
Yeah, so he's looking at Lily. You heard the name.
I did hear the name, but I also heard Tristan say that he's just trying to find out information. They've been kind to us up to this point. I don't think that we should jump to conclusions. That
But you are the only one who knows my name.
I am. That is correct, and I haven't told a single soul. But weirder things have happened here, Edric. Like a lot weirder things. We just came from a fortune teller who told us that all of these people that we know from our homeland are here.
I haven't seen her in ages.
I haven't seen my sister in ages, and yet she's supposedly here too.
Yeah, but the difference between you and I is that you want to see your sister. I would travel to the ends of every realm to avoid seeing that woman ever again.
Fair enough, but that was just a puppet. Maybe she's not actually here. The point is, though, now that I have your attention, you've got to be careful. There are people watching us everywhere, and I know you can hear this from everywhere around. People are like staring at us. I can hear them. I don't have super hearing.
What do I need to do?
Well, for now, you're just gonna have to fake it. Pretend to be a little bit happy, or at least not as grumpy, maybe. And we're just gonna have to trust our group. They've got us this far.
So Beetlejaw kind of just like makes a weird face, like it's an attempt at like a fake smile.
A Stitch smile.
Yes, exactly. And is this better?
Yeah.
How?
Lily just goes, yes, I think so. But I promise you, if that lady shows up, I will have you back. We just have to get through this. We have to get through this town as a group. And right now, our group, it's totally scattered.
I still don't trust the humans in our group.
Well, I'm pretty much there with you. You can just put the cowl over your mouth and just make it body language positive. How about that? Stand straight.
What is body language?
I don't know. Keep your shoulders straight.
Body language.
So
Let me show you.
in response to what she says, he kind of like tries to straighten out his body a little bit, But suddenly, like, kind of his back seems like unfurl a little bit, and he's standing about a foot and a half taller than he previously was. And you hear like bones popping, and like he kind of grunts a little bit. Is this better?
Lily looks up at him. Yes, I think. Maybe tone it down just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. You don't have to force it that much.
I really hate this place.
Yes, I do too. But the sooner we get back with our group, the sooner we don't have to try to act as positive because we won't be alone.
Fine.
Thank you. Don't make me hit you again.
Fine.
Okay, should we like go back to our
Thank you.
thank you. I got
And
you.
and they go.
Cool. Do you guys leave back out into the street, or are you guys going to check out the toy shop while you're in it?
Back into the street. I think our priority is to get with everybody else again.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Meanwhile, over at the church, Tyrion and his trail of duckling children.
It's like, when did I become the maid?
You're good for it, right?
Yeah, apparently.
I've got to draw one more circle on the map. Dang it.
As Lily and Edric are walking through the street, because his back is like completely extended, and he's kind of like almost like waddling as he goes.
Awesome. All right, so you begin making your way over to the church. You do see this slouching centuries-old stone church has a bulging steeple in the back and walls lined with cracked, stained glass windows depicting pious saints. A fence of wrought iron encloses a garden of gravestones next to the church, and a thin mist creeps among the graves. It looks like as you're approaching Tyrion, you do see there are a lot of people sort of funneling into this church as night is falling. And you do see there is sort of a kindly priest standing out by the door. He's kind of portly. He's got a little bit of balding going on. He kind of is gesturing as people are going in, greeting people with a smile, and everybody is heading into the church for the evening. Looks like there's about you would hazard a guess of 40 to 50 people who are seeking sanctuary inside the church.
Okay. Kind of wait until, kind of catches attention, but wait until everyone has entered the church before approaching.
He notices you. He nods his head, and he smiles at Irina. And as everybody enters in, they sort of file in, and he closes the door behind them. He comes over to you guys. He says, "Welcome, Irina. I have not seen you since you were a young girl. Who is your friend here?"
Name's Tyrion, and this is Matthias, and this is Freak, and Myrtle, and Lucian.
Ah, yes, I know these children. They've been missing for a couple of weeks now. Well, not Lucian. He was taken earlier a couple days ago.
Well, as I'm not allowed to speak of what occurred, they need sanctuary.
He gets kind of a grim face, and you notice he quickly corrects it back to a neutral expression. He says, "Yes, I understand. They are more than welcome to stay in the church with me. Although I would say housing situation, the orphanage would probably be a better permanent solution for them."
I will let you make that decision. You could probably find use for them in the church, and I'm hesitant to rely on the orphanage for them. once is enough for what has already happened.
I understand. Irina, would you please take the children inside while I speak with your compatriots here?
Can we do this inside as well so that, I smile and laugh and nod my head. It hurts.
I could, yes, please, follow me. Irina, please enter the sanctuary. I will take your friends to my office. Please let the congregation know I will be along shortly. And she kind of gives this sort of like a skeptical look, but she will round up the kids, and she picks up Freak and takes the other two behind her into the chapel itself. And Father Lucian, he will take you around back to a back door that leads into his office, which is sort of a cramped, very simple affair. There's a wooden desk, a whole bunch of holy books, a couple of incense burners, and candles stacked all over the place. And he offers you to sit down in front of him. And he says, I am grateful that you have got Irina across the valley to the church. Ismark was very worried that his sister would be waylaid along the way by you-know-who.
He wasn't wrong.
Did you run into him along the way?
We had an encounter.
I'm deeply sorry about that. He has not come to our village in 100 years, but I do receive tales of travelers coming to Valakai all the time, seeing him on the road or in the woods.
It does appear that this was part of his plans. So
I suspect he may have additional plans.
I would, yes, unfortunately. I actually do this.
You are a holy man, are you not? You're a priest of some sort?
I hesitate to label myself with that. It's complicated.
I find that in matters of faith, it is often complicated. I ask because the reason Irina was brought here was because this church is a holy ground. It is a sacred space where none with ill intent can tread, at least none who are among the undead or the demons. At least it was.
And what happened?
The reason that this was consecrated ground is that the bones of Saint Andrew, the saint for which the church is named, were interred here. They were buried in the crypt below. But recently the bones went missing. And I don't know what will happen with that knowledge. I don't know if the grounds are still consecrated. I don't know if the devil can come here.
I would say that it is very likely, and I look at Matthias, and to get his reaction, it most likely was not a coincidence. Or it is not a coincidence.
He's got a grim face on his face.
Yeah.
I believe I know who we can talk to about where they went missing. I have my suspicions. I told the altar boy of their existence. His name is... What is his name? Yeska. He is an orphan as well, and one of my altar boys. He was feeling a terrible fear, and he asked me for how I knew the church was a sacred place, and I told him of the bones' existence.
You believe he's taken them?
I don't believe he stole them. I don't believe he took them.
Mm.
but I believe that he would be the one who told somebody of them. If you could recover those bones, it would go a long way to making this a safe place again for any seeking sanctuary, not just Irina.
That's the only way we're going to keep Irina safe. If we don't retrieve those, there's a very good chance that she will be taken from here.
He gets, he's the first person you've seen in town who allows himself to get visibly upset.
Or in private, he can manage that.
Yeah.
Do you have a letter that we can use to be introduced at the orphanage? We can go speak to Yezik.
Yes, he's also here this evening if you wish to speak with him.
I wondered if he was actually here. Yes, if you would. We have friends we can help, or at least attempt to.
Thank you. I don't know if I have anything in the terms of recompense besides an old man's gratitude, but it will make a safe place in the valley.
If it spits in the eye of the one that brought us here, I'll take it.
You are a good man.
Yeah,
Both of
don't
you.
say that. Don't say that, Father.
Well, I will vouch for you. With the Morning Lord, at least.
All right, well, you should probably tend to your flock, and then we can speak to Yezik afterwards.
Perfect. And he will stand up and he'll lead you guys back around front, and you guys can enter the sanctuary together.
Okay.
You do notice there is one altar boy, sort of wearing a dirty, stained altar boy's robes. He's going around. He's lighting candles around the sanctuary, the chapel itself. Father Petrovich goes to the altar and he just begins speaking in general to the assembled people. He's blessing over them with holy water, and you notice he is providing a real sense of peace and comfort to the people here, who are among the most terrified of Valakai citizens. You're not sure why they're allowed to express that fear within the church.
But there were no guards anywhere near this church, were there?
No.
As we came through.
Nope. Almost like the church itself has a distance politically from the burgomaster.
Right, which makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, you do see the little altar boys going around. He's lighting candles and he's shaking people's hands, and he's only 8 or 9 years old.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I guess we'll wait for Father to finish his sermon, and then he can introduce us to Yezik, so that we don't scare the boy.
Cool. Yeah. So the father does say a few words. He gives a couple of inspirational sermon speeches, and then he will cut over to you guys and introduce you to Yeska.
Oh, Yeska. I've been saying Yezik.
And Yeska looks up at you as you're approaching with the father, and he says, "Blessings of the Morning Lord upon you, sir. How may I help you, gentlemen?"
I have a question, and I would like you to answer me truthfully.
Father Lucian sort of gestures to you and Matthias, and he says, "Yeska, these men are going to help us with that thing I told you about. Would you please go and talk to them away from the flock while I continue helping people?" And you and Yeska and Matthias sort of go off into an alcove of the church that's a little more away from the others.
Do they have a confessional?
Yeah, they do.
Kind of work our way over there then.
And when you bring him into the confessional, he is super, super nervous. He's kind of sitting and rocking back and forth on the chair.
So, as I said, I have a question, and I need the truth.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I need to know, did you tell anyone about the bones?
Please roll a persuasion check.
It's funny because I'm actually trained in it. No, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. He breaks down and he just begins like crying on himself. He's like, I did tell somebody. I'm sorry to God. I
All right, settle.
just wanted Millifo to leave me alone. He's a
Who-
bully.
An orphan?
Yeah, he's the gravedigger here, and he lives at the orphanage, and he bullies me, and he tells me how there's nowhere safe in the valley from the devil, and I wanted to prove him wrong, and now the bones are gone, and we're all gonna die.
All right. Look at me.
Mhm.
You and everyone here can be safe if those bones are returned. You have now told me, my friends and I look back at Matthias. We'll go
Mhm.
speak to the bully and see what we can do. You have a very important task. You have to believe in yourself. Bullies only bully because they feel they have power over you. When you are in control of yourself, they can't bully you. You have power over them. But that doesn't mean that you take it out on them. You do not become a bully. You hear me?
Yes, Mr. Tyrion, sir.
Dry your eyes, boy.
I'm not allowed to cry. They'll put me in the stocks.
Yeah, I know.
And he'll take like the whole like front of his robe and try to wipe off his whole face.
You take the time you need.
Milliville lives at the orphanage. He didn't show up for work today.
Where's the graveyard in the town besides the one here?
It's the one at the church. Is the one
Oh,
he
okay.
works at.
Do you know where else he might stay or might go?
I think just the orphanage, unless he left town.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Matthias, we got to get back to the others. Irina's in danger if we don't return those.
Yeah, I feel like Irina's always in trouble here.
She's not the only one.
No, she's not. We can make this town a better place and a safer place, and having any sanctuary we can fall back to is probably a good thing.
I have a feeling we're going to have to do more than just make the church safe. We want this place to be a sanctuary.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the political situation myself.
I am not getting in the middle of that, but that is going to be our problem.
Yeah, I suspect we're not going to have a choice.
Don't tell me that. It's hard enough to keep a smile on my face.
You and me both, and he'll sort of pat you on the back.
Let's go find the others.
Cool. And everybody reconvenes at the Blue Water Inn, where Tristan and Piddlewick have set up their table. A couple more, goblets of wine have come in. They've been, keeping you fed. The atmosphere in here is very jovial. There's a lot of people sort of all engaging in merriment. There's songs that spring up. The woman behind the bar she's a force of nature. She is keeping track of everybody's food orders. She's running everything. You do see that there are a couple of kids who kind of look like her that are zipping around, just causing mischief, running under people's legs and chasing each other, playing tag. We'll say that Matthias and Tyrion and Lily and Edric all sort of reconvene around the same time.
Cool.
And you guys do see Tristan sitting over with Piddlewick.
Hello, guys.
What? I look
Tyrion,
at him. I look at Lily. I go, "What did you do?" I'm looking up at Edric.
Hands up.
Tyrion, also add a point of inspiration for your last scene. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
I can't get more than one.
Oh, just mark down that you
Okay.
have more than one.
Okay.
And I've given my entertainer friend the heads up not to freak out when my friends arrive.
Why would I freak out?
Because
Hi.
one of them will look very familiar to you, so do not lose it. Got it?
I got it. I'll behave myself.
For now.
And you guys walk in.
Again, Lily, what did you say to him?
He's here. So let's just be thankful for that.
Yeah, and he's not in the stocks.
See?
Really?
Yeah.
The Paladin Whisperer.
That's what they call me back home.
Oh.
You don't want to know what they call me back home.
Yes, I do.
You just still like this.
We can sit. Are we sitting?
I think we're sitting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's enough room all around the table for you guys to all sort of sit down.
I wave my hand for a drink. Please help.
So Edric is like still doing the smile, but like kind of like glaring at the theater guy.
The theater guy is looking at you. He's not reacting in a conventional way. He's just sort of like, "Nice to meet you. What is your name?"
Like Edric just kind of still stares at him, not really answering him. And are his puppets around us? Do I see those?
They are not immediately visible.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you mean that you don't know who I am?
I'm gonna poke you with my tail.
Poke.
Well, you look just like one of my puppets, which is strange in and of itself, but I assume you're not that puppet brought to life. And he'll reach into his, and he pulls out the Beetlejaw puppet.
Can I please see that?
Certainly, please. And he'll hand it over to you.
So he kind of takes it and mulls it over. Do I notice anything like crazy about it besides it being the puppet? The puppet.
A puppet.
No, it looks like it's hand stitched. It is well made, and it certainly resembles you. It even has sort of like a hard shell where your deformity is.
So like the jaw is in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Like Edric kind of just stares at it for a little bit. And internally, he's kind of thinking that, he feels disgusted with the way it looks because it's him. And he just kind of sullenly like hands it back to the puppeteer without saying anything.
That's uncanny, sir. I'm sorry for appropriating your likeness. I didn't do it intentionally.
Where exactly did you get those from? And
I
do you
made them
have
up.
more? And do you have more?
I have a couple more. He'll sort of reach in and start pulling puppets out of his pockets. You notice he has one that just looks like sort of your generic run-of-the-mill Halloween witch. You do see one that looks like Strahd. It kind of has like a cue ball for a head that's got slick black hair, and it's got little felt fangs on the front of it, and a couple of just two hands that he's able to sort of manipulate with it. And a couple of just general monsters like werewolves. He's got a couple of other heroes, but nothing that looks like you guys.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Is like if there was anything else that was specific to the party.
Did he pull out the lady in red?
He does, and he also pulls out a puppet that looks like Rudolph Van Richten.
So slowly, Edric's grin kind of goes back to being stern-faced as he sees the two puppets, and like his eyes kind of widen again.
Oh, you've heard of Mr. Van Richten? I mean, that makes sense. He's famous. He's sort of like the greatest monster hunter of all time, or he was. I haven't heard anything of his whereabouts in quite some time.
How much?
But he is
time?
rather popular with the children. I mean, the children love the stories of Van Richten, the legendary monster hunter.
You said quite some time. How much time?
Oh, a couple of years, I reckon. I haven't heard anything of his whereabouts. He didn't come to my realm very often, but when he did, it was quite a thing to talk about. I've sort of been trapped here for a while, so I'm a little out of the loop on current events.
Yes. I'm kind of intervening at this point and go, yeah, he's like us. He's not a native. He actually comes from and I look over it, from Torel. Said that right?
I'm from the city of Neverwinter in Faerun.
Really?
Yes, I've spent much time there.
Hmm. Rather cold, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable being up there in the mountains like that. It's not ideal, but it is it's home, I suppose.
Hmm.
Wait, a place called Neverwinter is cold?
Yeah.
It's an ironic name. They you see, the invaders who settled the area didn't want people to come there. Well, actually, they wanted people to come there. They wanted to trick them into coming there to freeze to death, because they would come there thinking it was never going to be winter, and then it was actually always winter. It's an interesting story, I'm afraid.
And one of many about the city's founding. If I remember my studies.
Are you familiar with it, good man?
I've been there on occasion. My travels took me along the Sword Coast a fair number of times.
Oh, and that is pretty close to Neverwinter. Yes.
As you guys are conversing, Edric just kind of takes the woman in red one and starts mulling it over.
Kind of lean over to him and say, so according to what he's told me, he heard this tale through one of the patrons that he had, who apparently went into elaborate detail with the story, and he turned it into a puppet show.
Who was this patron?
I figured before I delve into that too deeply, I figured you'd want to be here for that. Was I mistaken?
You are not. He looks back at the other puppeteer and says, "Who is this patron?"
Oh, his name is Vasily von Holtz. He runs a vending house here in Valakai, and in the village of Barovia and in Kresk. He kind of travels seasonally from city to city.
Is he in town now?
He is. He recently returned from his stay in Kresk. He'll be here for a couple of months at least.
Do you know where I can find him?
Yes, I do. He is at the black circle on your map.
If it looks like Edric is going to stand up and start walking away, because that's the impression that Tyrion is getting. I have news that we need to discuss before anything else happens. Do you have room? Did you get rooms for us, Tristan?
Did not yet, but I have made aware that the matron aware that we will need rooms tonight, and she is so there's plenty of rooms for us. There are like one electrum piece per bed.
Well, let's get them then and be somewhere not public.
Sure.
And almost on cue, she does wheel around your guys' table to take additional drink orders and to greet everybody. She says, "Welcome to the Blue Water Inn. My name is Danica Mardikoff. I am one of the owners here. I am the bartender and the runner. Is there anything that you would like for me to get from you from the kitchen, or is there anything I can help you with?"
Take
Do you
a
have
drink.
do you have a cider?
I'm afraid all we have is wine, dearie.
It's better than the water.
I do have the purple grape mash and I have the red dragon stomp. We can get you the purple grape mash for 3 copper pieces, or a pint of this of the red dragon crush for 1 silver piece.
Let's do the purple.
I'll do
Excellent.
the same. And I think Edric here should have one too. Just one. No more. Just one.
She does say that the hot beet soup in the fresh bed is provided at no additional charge. So if you're hungry for meat, we do have wolf steak for 1 electrum piece.
Take the stew and the bread for now. We'll let you know about the meat.
We
At
will
least
also
for myself.
rooms for the evening for the group.
Perfect. Our rooms do. We have a room that sleeps. We have a room that sleeps 6, and we have a room that sleeps 4 currently available.
We'll take the room.
Mr. Piddlewick is taking our only single room at this time.
I think the room that sleeps 6 should fit for us. 5 of us. And Lancelot.
And Lancelot.
Pet the puppy.
We don't have any of the kids anymore, or Irina, right?
Correct. I left them at the
Right.
church.
So I thought, okay.
So yeah, we'll take the room for 6.
Aye.
Very good. Very, very good. I will go and get your food orders in. I'll be back with your drinks very soon. And I'll bring the key back to your room.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your business. It's always good to see outsiders.
Smile. Embarrassingly so. Oh God, it hurts.
Oh, my whole face. Is there anything else anybody wants to do?
While we're waiting. Sure. So, as we're sitting, is Fiddlesticks or whatever his name is still with us?
Yeah, he's still with you guys.
So I turned to him. He said he's a half elf, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Excuse me, half elf. Would you mind giving us some space just for a few minutes? I need to speak among my compadres.
Certainly. And when I return, we can share stories. It'll be excellent.
Sure. I think it goes without saying that I really do not like him. But
Yeah.
there is something I feel that I should tell all of you. So when we first saw the story of him puppeteering, he spoke of a beetle jaw. And I think you can see from the puppet that he had that is a spitting image of myself. Lily's already aware of this, but Beetlejaw is my real name. go by Beetlejaw the Grey, where I'm from. And that's only a short realm from here. And that name is tainted to me because, well, the lady you saw, her puppet, we used to work together. Under we were students of say his name for me, Alex.
Rudolph Van Richten.
That's what I said. We were students under him together until she manipulated a village into killing my parents for fear that they were lycanthropes. She is the one thing in this world that I fear more than I can even imagine beginning to feel fear. I don't. I've been through hell and back, but I fear her. I apologize for leaving you guys behind, and especially you, Tristan, for jumping to conclusions with your intent. The reason my name is Beetlejaw is he like pulls his cowl down, and you see this like mangled, clawish looking bone attachment to his face that looks like exposed bone. It's because I am what's called a Caliban. I was born like this. There are people in my realm, and I'm sure that there are people here who just haven't realized it yet, that do not think well of the Calvins. They treat them like dirt. They kill them for no reason at all, simply because of the way they look, the way they are born. I hide my identity and my features so that I may walk amongst you and the rest of civilization. So.
Well, it was never my intent to make you feel uncomfortable. I saw the resemblance. I was trying to get some details.
I will do better in the future to not jump so fast on my. What do you call the where inside your head you have this sensation that makes you feel things?
Conscience.
Emotions?
Intuition?
That emotions, I think that's the right word. I've heard this word, but it's never been explained to me before. But I think I feel that when I see her. And I think that in some twisted, manipulative way, I feel that when I see you guys as well. Thank you for showing me that not all humans are, well, you're not as bad as the rest of them.
I'm crying. Drinks? Where are those drinks?
Danica will come back with drinks at this point.
Great.
She puts the food down. She puts the key down for whoever wants to take it, and she'll pass around the cups.
I'll take the key, and when I basically say, when we're done, before our puppeteer returns, let's head up to the rooms real quick.
Wait, never mind.
What, Lily? What's wrong?
Nothing. I was just going to suggest if we're sharing, does anyone else have any secrets we need to know that may cause people to leave our group? It's fine if we don't.
I think we shared a decent amount at the camp the other night, but Hedrick, you're not the only one who's been betrayed by a woman.
And that's why I stick with men.
Hey.
What does that mean?
Betrayed?
No, he sticks with men.
Well, that's Tristan. I'm not explaining this one.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out eventually, bud.
Rather long. We'll get into it one time when we have plenty of traveling time.
Now, Beetlejaw, you see when a daddy Caliban and a daddy Caliban love each other very much.
Yes.
All right, I hate werewolves. Good to go. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Are you guys going to tell Piddlewick will return to the table?
Yeah. Tell him we'll be right back. We're going to check our accommodations. But
Some of our gear.
yeah, keep our seats warm.
Excellent. Please come back. I have a wonderful story I'd love to share with you about a farm boy who joins forces with a sorcerer, a rogue, his bugbear companion, and two constructs to rescue a princess from the clutches of an evil warlock who was once the student of the sorcerer.
Sounds amazing.
It is phenomenal.
Sounds like Wizard of Oz.
So we'll head up to the room, and once we're behind the door, we have a problem. More than the usual.
Oh.
The church Irina believed to be safe will not be safe unless we can recover the bones of the saint for which the church is named. Is the only reason why the ground was consecrated, or at least the priest there believes that this is the only reason the church was on consecrated ground. He told one of the altar boys was scared, was being bullied. The father told him about the bones. The boy told the bully. Theoretically, the bully has taken the bones. He is the grave digger for the city. He did not show up for work today. He stays at the orphanage. If we're to make sure that you-know-who does not touch Irina anytime soon, we have to get those bones back.
Are you kidding me? This is a joke, right? This is a joke.
I may have been smiling all day, but this is me being serious. This is not a coincidence. You heard him earlier that this is all part of his plan.
I'm still not sure it's not part of her plan either, but we'll do what we got to do, I guess.
For all of the pain that he has done to her family, I think she deserves a little bit more sympathy.
I have sympathy for her, I suppose, or the her that maybe she was before she was bitten twice, but I'm not sure that hasn't had an impact on the her that we've met.
We need more evidence that what he's done has affected her, and that would come from either someone who knows about creatures such as those, looking at Edric, or if there was anywhere in town that actually had things written down.
You're telling me.
Well, she's not giving me any indication that she's not telling the truth.
I know.
I'm pretty good at reading people. At least I like to think I am.
That's fair. I will defer to your guys' expertise on this, but just know if I get a book that I can read about how this works, I'm reading it.
I would almost expect nothing less.
Thank you.
Don't read it out loud. Just in case.
And not in this town. So we'll have to go to the orphanage at the very least to see if they know where he's gone.
What are you thinking? You're thinking tonight, or are we thinking at first light?
I'm thinking tonight, unfortunately. If this is all planned, what better way than to do it as soon as we get here? Things don't work out in our favor.
Well, maybe it'll take us to wherever this wolf cave is, and I can see what's going on with my sister, and then it'll all work out for the best.
I just don't know if what we'll uncover in the dead of night. But
Yeah, no, I agree. We will sleep.
What is the urgency here? Do we need?
If Irina is at the church and it's no longer consecrated, the father said that the consecration kept the undead from stepping beyond its borders.
were
That
I was gonna say, did you pick up anything when you were there? I mean, I don't know how this works. This whole divine thing is outside of my realm, but
you know, for me, it's, if you want to call it a gift, it's a gift. I don't think of it quite in that way, but
well, I was just wondering, did you feel? I don't know if you can. If I go to certain places that are in tune with the Fae because of my heritage, I sometimes can pick up or sense things. I didn't know if that worked the same way for those that are more devout than I. Still like fading, or there was anything residual.
honestly, if you think I'm more devout than you, I think we have something else to talk about there. But no, I did not get any sense from the places one way or the other. I can certainly go back and try and see.
It was just, and that might give us a little sense of timetable. I mean,
Yeah.
Normally places don't lose their, at least arcanely, they don't normally. If something disrupts it, it takes a while for that energy to dissipate.
Well, Edric, would you be willing to go with me? You might be more connected than I.
He's like having an internal debate whether he wants to make that his priority or going to see
The
black circle on the map.
right.
Side note, I don't think we'll be able to see that gentleman this evening either. He's probably not in his shop. We know where his shop is. We don't know where he lives.
True.
Alex.
Well, that aside, I think that yes, Jaron, I will go with you.
All right.
Yes, Tristan.
Quick question for you. Based on our conversations with Strahd, can I make an insight check to see how over the top and dramatic he might be? How much of a drama queen he might be?
Sure.
And then you can maybe tell me how off base I may or may not be. I have a theory.
I think I know what your theory is, and I think your theory is correct.
12. I think that he's going to want to make a show of it, and that he wouldn't show up into the festival.
Mm.
You know what? I would suspect that that is also what he would do.
I got the impression that he likes to put on a show. He likes the attention. He likes the theatrics. If I was to be in his shoes, I wouldn't stage my entrance until the day of the festival.
So we have 3 days
to get to the bottom of this. That's my guess. I could be off base, but
3 days is a long time for that boy to get away with those bones.
Very true.
Well,
I think that should still be a high priority, but I'm thinking that we know when he will strike.
You guys also suspect that leaving town's probably not on his agenda, just based on how dangerous the wilderness is around here.
Right.
So you could take a long rest and tackle this in the morning if you wanted to.
Probably a good idea.
yeah, but on that note, before anyone else signs us up for more quests, let's all ask each other before we agree to help mysterious people.
This isn't helping mysterious people. This is helping Irina. This is following through on what we promised her brother.
I see.
She's made it very clear that Lily does not trust Irina.
Yeah, I know.
I thought for a second that the priest dude was. Never mind.
It's
We're gonna scratch that from the record.
rewind. Conversation never happened.
Well,
So as you guys are sort of chatting, coming up with where you're going to go, what you're going to do, you do hear heavy boots downstairs, and you hear a voice declaring, "We are here on business of His illustrious Baron Vargas Velakovich. We seek the newcomers into town. Where are they, Danica?"
Boy.
And on that note, I think we will end this week's episode of Heroes of the Mist.
You always have to give us a cliffhanger. Ah.
Not only does it bring you guys back, it brings the audience back.
No,
Yes.
and Beetlejaw won't be with us next week.
It's true.
That's so sad. So sad.
All
I'm so
right.
sorry.
One day we'll have us all together in the same room again. The same chat area.
Right. But such a wonderful session tonight, guys. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the United States who's tuning in. I hope everybody has safe travel plans wherever they're heading out and has at least some family members they can tolerate talking with where they're going. We will be back here same time next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Just chat, if any of you are on our Discord, we are considering trying out a 4-hour time slot. So if that's something that you guys would be willing to sit through from 7 to 11, please let us know over on Discord. I'm always happy to bring this content to you guys. I love this game. I love these players. Everybody is awesome. So whatever works, please just let us know. Does anybody else have anything they want to say before we sign off for the evening?
I'll miss you guys next week.
We'll miss you too.
Oh, we'll miss
Yep.
you.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, sorry, Jonesy, go ahead.
Let's say, yeah, just happy holidays for those in the U.S. So have a safe
Indeed.
holiday weekend.
Yep. Join us next week, everybody. Bring your friends. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. Lots of good RP been happening here lately.
Yeah, we're gonna have some crazy fun going on. Before I sign off, go ahead, everybody. Please level up your characters to level 5.
Ooh. All right.
Yay!
You guys did go through quite an endeavor with those hags, and you have finally made it to the village of Alakai. So
Okay, so yeah, quick note, if everyone wants to advertise that we have cats on our channel playing for us, that would be fantastic.
Oh, I'll get up my little fluff butt.
See?
This guy sits on my lap the entire session.
Most of mine are on my lap, and I can't get the camera down that far, so they like to be held up, though.
awesome. Well, stick around. We're going to raid another channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for Geek Unleashed. Just a reminder, there are no other Geek Unleashed shows this week. We're taking the week off for the holidays. I'm just a slave driver, and I don't let my players stop playing.
And we'd pester him to keep playing if we...
We did.
If I didn't show up.
We ended.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night.